So before I go out today and enjoy the day, I'd like to finally address this strut brace, which has got the rusting, the paint peeling, and to do that, I went out and bought another strut brace that was in a worse condition, and then I took that, stripped it all back to the raw, put a base coat on there, then put a top coat, which I used black because that's basically what I had, and I'm not sure if I'm going to change the color scheme of this swing arm and rear drive to be black, so I thought I'd give it a try. I got a new bushing, or a new bush rather, sorry, which went in there, which I've got to say was a bit of a pain to fit. I'll insert some clips here of me how I rubbed it down, but basically it was a wire wheel, a flap disc, that paint remover, rust remover that goes on the grinder, a lot of brushing, a lot of peeling, a lot of paint removal, a lot of rubbing. Then after that, a lot of spray paint with the cans, base layer, top layer, coat, and then just smacking the bushing in with a bloody hammer because I don't have a press. So I'll insert that so you can see that as I'm talking. Now the next job is actually fitted to the bike. Now to do that, it should just be this bolt here and this bolt here. However, it looks like to get access to this bolt, the brake arm is in the wrong place. So I'm hoping I can just unclamp here and just kind of hook it out the way. So I'll have a bit of an investigation there. I really do hope it is that simple, otherwise I'm going to be swearing, but it is just a simple case of, I think it's 16mm nut and bolt on both front and back, and that's just an 8mm hex. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to replace the bushings every time, but this is the state of the old bushing. You can see it's just a bit mangled. Nothing really great about it. Getting the new one in was an absolute nightmare. So if you do have a press, I'm sure that makes life much, much easier than smacking it between two pieces of wood. But that's what I'm doing today. Once I've got it in place, the idea is you replace it, get it bolted in loosely, and then load up the rear end with, I think the manual says 80 kilos, and torque it all to 43 Newton meters here and here. I don't have 83 kilos. I have a wife who I'm going to ask nicely to sit on it, and she's 60 kilos. And I think that'll be good enough. So hopefully we'll see how we get on. Right, first job is try and get this front off. So excuse me while I swear a lot. Yep, as suspected, there's no way of feeding that bolt out. There's not enough room in the play here to get that through. So I'm going to try unbolting there and see how it gets on. So this is the old arm, and you can see how disgusting that is. Actually, the bushing doesn't look terrible, but you can see all the rust, the paint flecks, and everything else. So what I'm going to do is just give everything a bit of a clean up there, and then insert the new one. Let's see, so first things first, let's try and get this one in, and then we'll go from there. Come on. Come on. Have I not bashed this through far enough? Is that the problem? Looks like I've not bashed this through far enough. Right. So I'm going to have to bash this through a bit further because it's catching on the edge, so be back in a second. Okay, it took a bit of time with the press. As I press, a vise and a socket. I got the bushing pushed through a bit further. It's now in place. All I've got to do is secure the back on, so let's get that done and this secure so I can just swing up that side. I think that's the right approach. So let's go there. This was my quick job before going to Madeira Drive to see the bikes at the Ace Cafe. Now, even with the correct size bushing, it did require a little bit of gentle persuasion with the mallet to get this back in place. So I think being aware of that helps. It's always worth doing this by hand, just in case you do cross-thread something like I was about to do. Right, we'll tighten everything up properly with the right torque specs in a second. Then finally, washer one side. This is now the next game, getting this into place, which probably needs unloading things. Yep, it does. Well, this will be fun, so prepare to watch the struggle. Okay, that's the first bolt in. I have to call for assistance. Oh, no, there we go. Right, that is on. Washer. And then nut. Loosely in place. We get our torque wrench and set it to 43 and torque everything up. I actually can't find a torque setting for this front here. So I think it's going to be a case of go with good and tight. Oops. Still want movement. I think that's enough. So we're going with good and tight. Right. As I say, no torque settings for that in the manual Haynes. But that is my rear strut brace, or Paralever rear struts, arm and bushing replaced. I think I made that more of a pig's ear than it's supposed to be. I didn't have the bushing fully all the way through. It needs to be poking out quite clearly on both sides because there's a small lip on one edge here. Now this does mean I've got a new one to replace and fix at some point, depending on what eventual colour I go for. But I'm happy with the black for now. It's cleaner, at least, and not rusty, so that's a good start. And that's another piece of work done on the BMW. Right, thanks very much.